Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. The place where curiosity meets entertainment. From jaw-dropping celebrity drama to the stories that shape our world, we bring you fresh, honest, and binge-worthy content every week. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and join our growing family, because the story starts here. When you hear Reilly, your mind might instantly flash to the sharp-tongued, fire-breathing Beth Dutton from Yellowstone, the woman who drinks her pain and spits out power. But what if I told you she stars in another series that critics have quietly rated 92% on Rotten Tomatoes? And it's not just on par with Game of Thrones. It might actually be better. Welcome to the world of Britannia, the criminally underrated MGM plus historical fantasy that combines Roman brutality, Celtic mysticism, psychedelic visions, and Reilly's magnetic screen presence into something that transcends genre. You thought Westeros was brutal? Wait till you enter Britannia, where gods walk among mortals, druids control fate, and every woman wields her rage like a sword. Now buckle up. This is not just a review. This is an epic, a journey, a battle cry for one of the best shows. You're not watching, while Game of Thrones ended with divided fans and burned thrones. Britannia emerged quietly in 2018 like a storm brewing on the Celtic horizon. Created by Jez Butterworth, known for gritty narratives and character complexity, the show plunges into 43 AD Britain, where the Roman Empire begins its bloody invasion of the Mystic Isles. But this isn't your typical history class recap. In Britannia, history is a fever dream. It's a mashup of historical fact, ancient superstition, hallucinogenic druidism, and punk rock attitude. Yes, punk rock. The show uses modern music, surrealism, and twisted humor to tell an old story with new fire. And standing at the burning center of it all, Reilly, as Kerra, the warrior princess of the Kenti tribe. A queen in waiting not just for her people but for a generation of fans. Tired of watered-down heroines, Kerra is not Daenerys Targaryen. She doesn't rely on dragons or palace intrigue. She fights with bare hands, sharp instincts, and eyes that hold galaxies of rage and sorrow. Reilly plays her with raw vulnerability and feral power. In a world of men who kill for sport and gods who kill for pleasure, Kerra survives with strategy, soul, and scars, where Game of Thrones gave us many queens, some virtuous, some vicious. Britannia gives us a single woman who embodies both. Kerra is a warrior torn between duty and destiny, loyalty and liberation. Reilly doesn't just portray Kerra, she inhabits her with every glare, scream, and whisper. And it's no wonder critics showered the performance with praise. If Beth Dutton was a nuclear bomb, Kerra is an ancient forest fire, slower, deeper, more dangerous. If Game of Thrones was political Shakespeare in armor, Britannia is a pagan. Hallucinations soaked in blood and ancient curses. And we're here for it. The landscape of Britannia is less about castles and more about caves, stone circles, and sacred forests. The druids here aren't wise old wizards. They're terrifying agents of chaos who can control time, speak to the dead, and manipulate the minds of kings, the Roman invaders, led by the obsessive General Aulus, played by David Morrissey. Are not just soldiers, they're colonizers of the soul, trying to crush not just the land but its magic. But Britannia refuses to die quietly, and amid this chaos, we're introduced to some of the most bizarre and unforgettable characters. Divis, the outcast druid, part madman, part prophet. Kate, a teenage girl whose destiny might decide the future of the Isles. And, of course, the gods themselves, whose motives are as cryptic as their appearances. This is not the polite fantasy of knights and courtiers. This is elemental storytelling, raw, mad, beautiful. Where Game of Thrones leans into medieval orchestras, Britannia features an opening theme by Donovan, hurdy-gurdy man, and scores scenes with distorted rock and eerie synths. Dacious. It's unexpected. And it works. It's like someone dropped acid at a history museum and walked out with a masterpiece. The music becomes a character, mirroring the show's refusal to be boxed in. One moment you're watching a fierce tribal duel, the next you're in a trance as flutes and vocals meld your reality. It may be disorienting, but isn't that the point? Let's get controversial. Britannia doesn't just compete with Game of Thrones. In some ways, it outclasses it. More focused storytelling had dozens of characters, which was both a strength and a curse. Britannia keeps its cast tighter, allowing deeper exploration of character psychology and emotional arcs. No fridging, no damsels. Kerra isn't manipulated. For shock value, she is the storm. Britannia doesn't just include strong women, it centers them. Got was stunning but safe. Britannia is stylistically wild, with surreal dream sequences, horror elements, and twisted humor. It feels handcrafted for an audience that craves originality.
In Game of Thrones, magic was teased for seasons.
In Britannia, it's in your face from episode 1. It's not elegant or mysterious, it's dark, visceral, and sometimes downright demonic. Britannia doesn't ask you to like it, it challenges you to survive it. There's no middle ground. You're either all in or you're left behind. Despite flying under the mainstream radar, Britannia holds a 92% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes for its first season, higher than some Game of Thrones seasons. Critics praised its boldness, unpredictability, and especially Reilly's performance. But it remains a cult classic. And like all cult classics, it's waiting to be discovered by those ready to stray from the beaten path. This is your sign. Marketing. That's it. Britannia. Premiered on Sky Atlantic and later on Amazon Prime before migrating to MGM+. It didn't have HBO's budget or PR army. It didn't get Funko Pops or Comic Cons. It was a quiet masterpiece in an era of noisy blockbusters. But now that Kelly Reilly is an icon thanks to Yellowstone, people are finally circling back to see where her sword-wielding fire first blazed, spoiler-free. Let's just say Kerra's arc is unforgettable. It's a tragic, triumphant, and transcendent ride. Reilly treats every scene like sacred fire, burning away artifice and leaving only truth. She doesn't need dragons. She has something more dangerous, conviction. Her performance in Britannia deserves the same reverence fans show to Arya, Cersei, or Brienne. In some ways, Kerra predates the trend of complex warrior women, and she does it without ever begging for approval. Ask any Britannia fan, and they'll say the same thing. It's a hidden gem that feels tailor-made for those disillusioned with fantasy tropes. It's gritty but poetic, violent but thoughtful, supernatural but grounded. Fan art is minimal. Reddit threads are small. But the loyalty? Fierce, because once you see Kelly Reilly standing in that fog-drenched forest, blood on her cheek, eyes wide with prophecy, you don't forget her. You can find Britannia streaming on MGM+. All 3 seasons are waiting like ancient scrolls buried in time. And if you're tired of cookie-cutter content, superhero fatigue, or recycled medieval plots, this is your antidote. Britannia may never have the global reach of Game of Thrones. It may never get Funko Pops or spin-offs. But that doesn't matter, because for those who find it, it's lightning in a bottle. And for Kelly Reilly, this is the role that showed her range, her rage, and her right to rule the screen. Long before Beth Dutton's whiskey-fueled rants, there was Kerra, ancient, primal, glorious. So next time someone says, there's nothing better than Game of Thrones, lean in and whisper, you haven't seen Britannia yet.